Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my first TBR video of 2025. If you've been on my channel a while, you know I have been in a massive reading slump the latter half of 2024. I'm slowly coming back into reading in 2025. Was going to mood read the entire year, but I thought I will give a TBR a try for April. Try being in the word. If I'm not feeling any of these books at any time, I will just soft DNF and then pick something else up. So if during my April vlog / potential vlogs, you see me picking up a different book and not any of these books, that's the reason. I am setting myself the goal of reading just 5 books for my main April TBR, just because there will be a separate vlog during the month of April because I will be attempting a 24-hour reading challenge, and that TBR is different. Saying all that, best for me to stop waffling and get on to the books. The first book on this TBR, and the first of 3 sequels on this TBR, is The Mystery at Dunvegan Castle by T.L. Hoochu, book 3 in the Edinburgh Nights series. This is what I'm classing as an NA mystical thriller. You follow a 13-year-old called Roper, if I remember her age correctly, who can do magic, and it's kind of in a futuristic Edinburgh, I will say. And basically she is running side quests, I will say, in book 1 to help her grandma, and I believe there is a sibling, if I remember correctly, in this world, and she gets sucked up into the official magical world, I'll say, of Edinburgh. I'm not explaining this really well at all, but basically the libraries in Edinburgh are all kind of the centre of magic in this world, well, in Edinburgh, and it is lawless. And when I say it's futuristic, I mean there are phones, but they're not the phones we currently have. They're like old phones, but it's set in the future, if that makes any sense at all. Hello, editing Michelle here, reading my pitiful attempt at explaining the Edinburgh Night series. I had to cut in. Basically, you are set in an Edinburgh, like a post-catastrophic Edinburgh, like all the wealthy people have gone, you got all the poor people. And I will read you the synopsis for the first book, which is The Library of the Dead, because it does a really better way of setting the tone of our main character than I have badly attempted. So, when a child goes missing in Edinburgh's darkest streets, young Roper investigates. She'll need to call on Zimbabwean magic as well as her Scottish pragmatism to hunt down clues. But as shadows lengthen, will the hunter become the hunted? When ghosts talk, she listens. Roper dropped out of school to become a ghost talker. Now she speaks to Edinburgh's dead, carrying messages to the living. Side quest. A girl's got to earn a living, and it seems harmless enough, until that is the dead whisper that someone's bewitching children, leaving them husks empty of joy and life. It's on Roper's patch, so she feels honour bound to investigate, but what she learns will change her world. She'll dice with death, discovering an occult library and a taste for hidden magic. She'll also experience dark times. For Edinburgh hides a wealth of secrets, and Roper's got to hunt them all down. So hopefully that is a better description than my pitiful attempt just then. Back to past Michelle. But all I will say is magic, mysteries, sassy female character. I'm there. So yeah, book number 3. It is NA. Billboard NA. I am classing it as NA just because it can be a bit bloody, I will say. But book 3, I do have book 4 up there. However, I'm not planning on reading both books this month. And one reason I love these series is The Beautiful Sprayed Edges from Goldsborough. How did I forget Goldsborough? So yeah, and each of the books kind of have their own colour. So I believe we've had turquoise for book 1, yellow for book 2, book 3 is blue, and book 4 is red. One thing that the first 2 did have that this one doesn't have, and I don't believe book 4 does either, they used to have a little material bookmark in it. I think they've taken them out, which I'm quite glad about because I didn't really use that anyway. But yeah, I'm just saying this is a full month book, even though it's not that big, just because it does have that magical element, and as much as I love the magic in here, sometimes that can take me longer to read. So after a waffling version, book 1. Book number 2 and the second of the 3 sequels is The Handmaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. This is book 3 in the Housemaid trilogy currently by Frida McFadden. Even though it is book 3, it can technically be read as a standalone, so I can read you the synopsis, which I will do, but then I will grab The Housemaid and read you the synopsis of that one as well, just so you know where this whole trilogy series started. I used to clean other people's houses. Now I have one of my own. The charming kitchen, the quiet cul-de-sac, the huge yard where my kids can play. My husband and I worked so hard for this life. When our neighbour invites us to dinner, a maid opens the door. Looking at her white apron and the hair is like looking in the mirror. I know exactly what it's like to be in her shoes, but her cold stare gives me chills. That's not the only strange thing here. I'm sure I see a shadowy figure watching us. My husband leaves the house late at night, and one woman's words chill me to the bone. Be careful of your neighbours. I thought I'd left my darkest secrets behind, but could this quiet street be the most dangerous place of all? So like I said, that is the 3rd book in the Housemaid series, and in this one you follow our main character who cleans at the Winchester's house, and there is just some strange things going on with the mother and the husband and the child. So yeah, you follow this character in different scenarios. Can you tell I've not really done a TBR in a long time? And the 3rd and last sequel is The Woman of Troy by Pat Barker, the sequel to The Silence of the Girls. I can read you the synopsis because it doesn't spoil anything. Troy has fallen. The Greeks have won their bitter war. They can return home as victors. All they need is a good wind to lift their sails. But the seas have been becalmed by vengeful gods, and so the warriors remain in limbo, camped in the shadow of the city they destroyed, kept company by the women they stole from it. The women of Troy. Helen, Cassandra, Amina, Hecuba, and Briseis. Briseis carrying her future in her womb, the unborn child of the dead hero Achilles, once again caught up in the disputes of violent men, once again faced with the chance to shape history. So basically this is Pat's trilogy discussing the classic myth of the fall of Troy. So book 1, The Silence of Girls, was the lead up to the war and the war. Book 2 follows on from this. And I'm back. I didn't mean discussing. This is Pat's trilogy showing the war through the eyes of the women and how they shaped it. The legend of Troy, the wooden horse, etc. It's a myth that majority of people know, but you probably, like me, you don't know the backstory, and a lot of it you just know the fake wooden horse, war with Greeks, this is how Troy fell. Book number 4 is one from my 2-year project of reading backlogs of Frida McFadden and Linwood Barclay, and that is Broken Promise by Linwood Barclay. When single parent David Harwood loses his job and moves from Boston back to his childhood home of Promise Falls, he's not expecting anything very exciting to happen. But when he goes to see his cousin Marla, still not quite right after losing her baby, he finds something he definitely wasn't counting on. Marla is caring for a new baby, a baby she says was given to her by an angel. But when David tries to find the real mother, he discovers a grisly murder scene. To save Marla from a jail sentence which would finally destroy her sanity, David realises that he must dig beneath the familiar surface of Promise Falls, and soon he uncovers a place he never knew, a town of twisted minds and even darker deeds, with an awful secret at its heart. And the fifth and final book is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Scarlett Vandermeer is swimming upstream. A junior at Stanford and a student athlete who specialises in platform diving, Scarlett prefers to keep her head down, concentrating on getting into med school and on recovering from the injury that almost ended her career. She has no time for relationships. At least, that's what she tells herself. Swim captain, world champion, all-round aquatics golden boy Luke Blomqvist thrives on discipline. It's how he wins gold medals and breaks records. Complete focus with every stroke. On the surface, Lucas and Scarlett have nothing in common, until a well-guarded secret slips out and everything changes. So they start an arrangement, and as the pressure leading to the Olympics heats up, so does their relationship. It was supposed to just be a temporary, mutually satisfying fling, but when staying away from Lucas becomes impossible, Scarlett realises that her heart might be treading into dangerous water. So that's the TBR. There's nothing really that links all these books together. It was literally just me looking at my shelves going, what do I kind of want to read to get off my shelves? And my sequel pile, though small now, was quite large at the time, which is up there. They're all kind of thrillery books. Well, 3 of them are. Ali's just a romance author that I adore. She's an auto-buy. And Pat is an author where my friend was getting rid of The Silence of the Girls because she was going hardback to paperback. So as a history lover, I thought I have to read Silence of the Girls. If I enjoy it, I got the sequel, which I did. So yeah, a nice size pile that I'm then chucking on a 24-hour reading vlog on top of, with a totally different TBR. With this same amount of books, if not one more book more. So nothing like setting myself up for a challenge. Hopefully the reading mojo stays and I can read these and the other books. But have you read any of these books? Is there any that you're thinking, Michelle, that will just send you back into a slump? Or Michelle, you will adore that or read that first? If there is, comment down below. And if you like this video, please give it a like. But if you don't want to, not an issue. Hopefully the next time I see you will be in the April vlog or the 24-hour vlog, or maybe my March vlog. I don't know which one I'm releasing first. But yeah, I'll see you when I see you. Bye.